The art of motion when blur starts to feel intentional is our topic today on Luminar Coffee Break. Now, this is going to be an extended version because I'm going to show you how to create the blur effect and, of course, how to edit. It all begins now. Hello, everyone. So this is one of my interesting topics that I want to work with because motion blur could easily be created in Luminar Neo, and that's phenomenal. I love the motion blur effects that we've recently added. Well, we've added before, and we've enhanced them recently, and that's amazing. But it's also great to know how to do it in camera. And so I'm going to show you something I did many years ago. I got to think what year it was. Well, we'll look at it in a minute. I did this while 2019 or 2009 when I did these shots. So we were in Las Vegas, and the assignment was to see how we can use like the zoom effect, like you see on these images right here. Here's the Bellagio. This was pretty cool. And the way you get that effect, of course, is with obviously putting it on a tripod, and I'll show you something I have in a moment for that, and slow shutter speed. When you select it, you quickly zoom out and in. Just really quick like this, but notice, like when I'm doing it, I'm shifting the camera. You can't have any camera motion whatsoever. That's why a tripod is very important. And then you do one of these things, out and in. To get this particular look, the way we did it, there was a couple ways. One, zoom in, zoom out like this, and look what that produced. Another one was starting with the camera out like this, then doing it back and forth. And then I tried leaving it out like this, out and back again. Experimental, that's the biggest key. When you experiment like this, you'll just start to get creative. And again, these are just some random ways for me to do this. Then we took it to the streets. And this is what I really, really want to show you, is how to get the blur with the cars going by. And notice right here, in this particular image here, what we're really doing with these streaks is I'm doing rear curtain sync because I want it to open, gather all the information, do the slow, drag the shutter speed. Then when it shuts, the car is gone. All right? But how do we do this without getting these cars in the way? While I was on that trip, a good friend of mine did something really cool. Now first, before I show you, in New York City, you can't have tripods. Vegas, they don't have problems with tripods as long as you're not blocking the streets or the roads, or not the roads, the sidewalks. I use a platypod now. So see this little platypod right here? And then, of course, up here's where you put your camera. You can still mount this to a tripod like this. And then if the authorities come along and say, hey, get rid of that tripod, unscrew it off the tripod, and now you have it here, you got to elevate it, or like in this case, the way it was up on the ground, put it on a garbage can, a electrical box, whatever it is. Bottom line, you have to have stability. You have to have it. If you don't have it, you're not going to get the leading light trails like this. So that was one. Now, here was a trick that they showed me, which I thought was absolutely genius. I'm shooting it. I don't like how the cars keep getting in the way. So my buddy said, well, let's photograph it without the cars affecting it. So the first thing we did was I grabbed the exposure. So I just wanted to make sure that this was the exposure. I took the shot, and I think it was a 4-second exposure. Well, waiting for cars to come and go in 4 seconds, you're not going to always get what you want. So instead, this is what was really cool. Let's get to, we'll use one of these. I'll use this one right here. Perfect. 4 seconds, right? This was here. Actually, this was 15.9 seconds. So this was 15.9 seconds. What I did was this. Took the shot, opened up the shutter. A trigger is the best way to do this. Then take something black or like this, where it's actually very, very thick fabric. Put it over the lens. Now you have to count manually. So for this here, let's say 15 seconds, hit the shutter, then all of a sudden you wait for a car to come by. Now, look, the shutter's open already, right? So I didn't count yet. I wait. A car is coming. Open, start counting. 1, 2, 3. Put this back down. Now it's not recording any light. You wait for another car to come by. 4, 5. Wait for it. Wait for another car. 6, 7. And you just keep doing this up until you hit, in this case, 16 seconds. Notice what I just did there. That was open for a lot longer than 16 seconds, but by putting that in front of it and you're counting how long you want to do this for, what's really happening is you're stopping the camera from recording the light or the scene. So it only got that first car trail coming through, the lights. Then the next one, then the next one, then the next one. Next thing you know it, boom, when you're done, the background is in proper exposure because that's what we set it for. And all I did was control. Now, if you didn't have something like this, use your hand in front of it. But it's better to have a little black. I usually use like a black gator form or gator back foam. The problem is traveling with it, it gets all messed up. I found that these work equally as well, to where I just draped it right in front of it, waited, let go. Drape it in front of it, wait it, let go. Now, what I don't have here, if you want to get really, really interesting shots with this, have a person in the scene. And you tell them, don't jump in to the last moment. So now you're shooting all this like we're doing it. They jump into the scene. Now you need artificial flash. And that's where a speed light comes in. And you tell them, okay, ready? Take the pose and act like they're trying to hell down a taxi cab. You open up the camera, release it, flash fires, boom. It puts that person in perfect exposure with the background the way it is. Now it looks like the person was standing there the entire time trying to flag somebody down, and then this is what happens. So that is a really cool way to get shots like this, to where if you want a longer exposure, especially at nighttime like this, put your hand in front of the lens, stop it from recording. When you see something interesting coming by, let it come back out again and work it from there. All right, now let me show you some of the edits. For this image here, you know, I'm purposely wanting to be dark. If I came over, and although our the auto adjustment is really cool, it's gonna try to expose the whole image, and honestly, I want it darker. So I'm gonna just come and let it do its thing, because I do like what it did with the highlights, but I don't want the exposure. If anything, I may bring the exposure down just a little bit. But here it is, the toning. The black tone, ooh, now it's gonna really start making the colors pop. Let's see what the white tones do. Look at this. Look how it's making you look a little bit more vibrant before and after. Ready? Here's the original. It looks dull. Ooh, now it's getting the contrast that I'm looking for. In fact, let's adjust some of the smart contrast. There we are. Now, I do know this was shot with a very older camera, so let's check out noiseless. And I am going to come down and just do medium. I know it's suggesting low. Let's see if that makes a difference. 4. After, we're really not going to notice it in the black. We're going to notice it right here into the light. Let's see. All right, not too bad. Well, yeah, you can see it. But isn't that pretty cool that even back then, there it is, I can actually see it a little bit more. The camera itself did a really good job at noise reduction on it. Now that we have this set, let's get a little artistic. I'm falling in love again with the mystical tool. I'm going to go to an extreme. That's too much, but just a little bit. I think that's going to really make, look at that slight difference. Ooh, I like that. And we can continue a little bit. Let's see what color harmony is going to do. This is that one tool that, let's go to an extreme. If you go to an extreme, either way, look what it's doing. A little, very, very little gives you what you're looking for. Look at that, 10. Look at the difference. And then the warmth. Do I want it a little bit cooler? Or do I want the golden tones? That's up to you. I don't know. I'm kind of liking right about here. And of course, the color contrast. This is where you adjust. And you start adjusting with the hue. Look at this. I'm really looking at the building right about now. Right about there. All right, let's see if it makes a difference. Before, after, yep, it's bringing it out just a little bit more. All right, I like it. And then let me just jump up here to, let's see what structure is going to do. I'm going to do the micro or boosting. This is going to improve just the finest of the details in the image. Go to an extreme. We don't want too much. You're right about there. Yeah, it's bringing out, it's going to bring out a little bit more with the light trails. Yeah, look at that. All right. And now this is where you can get creative and say, okay, well, I like everything here. I really don't want it to be down here. I want this stuff to be a little bit darker. Now we'll do a global change. Let's make everything dark. There we go. And now let's do a local change. So mask. And for this, let's try a gradient, see what that does. I'm going to bring it up right about to here. Yeah, look at that. Before, after. So it's hiding some of the parts I don't want. And honestly, like if this part here is bothering me, just make it a little bit more intense. There we go. Now I got rid of it. So, and yes, of course, we did the Dutch tilt on this. I may have gone a little bit too much, but I actually like it like this. Let's see if we brought it back just a little. Now, I like it right where it's at. Just the uncertainty. I like how that looks. All right, so we started from this here and ended with this. And I just like how it's all coming together. So there is that trick again. Get the exposure the way you want it. Once you got it down, look at your camera and see how many seconds it's telling you. Then either with a plunger or time, set it, count, put this in front. 1, 2, 3, car comes by, let it record, put it back again and try it out. And then if you want to try that extra trick where you put a subject in the scene, use a speed flash. Get them in the scene like we just did the first one. Take a picture of the background. That's properly exposed. Expose to the element you can't control, which is the background here. Got it the way you want. Put that subject right where you want them. Hit them with that flash and see what the exposure is going to look like. And now you have that person beautifully lit and you have the background the way you're looking. All right. So I hope this was helpful for you. And those are just a couple quick tips on how to edit it. All right. Now I do have something for you on this. Your voice matters. Please fill this out right here. The questions we're going to ask are real simple. This is going to help us shape and guide Luminar. But what's really cool about this, let me pull this on my screen to show you. Here we are. So it's just ask you a simple, your name, email address, location where you're in. Now, are you part of any photography communities? Let us know. There's a spot to put other. If yes, please share the name in the group. The reason for all of this is I would love to come and visit you guys. So where if you want me to come to your camera clubs, or if you have meetup groups, whatever, even YouTube, or I'm sorry, Zoom sessions and meetings, please let us know and we'll try to make it happen. Then from here, how do you usually watch Coffee Break? And then would you be interested in attending events or photo walks? And then you yourself, maybe one of the instructors you're really fond of, ask them, would you be interested in any of these extra classes, teaching sessions, photo walks? And then please leave a comment for the team. I love Skylum because, again, I love the fact that my team is constantly asking for your input and your guidance, because together we're building an incredible piece of software for photographers. All right? Now, if you're here, please stick around for the Ask Me Anything segment. For everyone else, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you at the next coffee break.